Hello and welcome. You're watching Head to Head with UATV. I am Oles Karjuk. As we are near the end of the year, international experts and diplomats have announced the results of Ukraine's foreign policy in 2017. So what are the biggest successes and failures? To get to know all the details, we welcome to the studio Hennadiy Maksak, chairman of the Foreign Policy Council, Ukrainian Prism. This is the organization which conducted this survey. Hello and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Mr. Maksak, I can't help my interest. Tell us a bit more about this survey and about the procedure of the survey. And then let's start with some achievements Ukraine made in 2017.
Right. So basically, this is the second time we have this survey. And our aim just to demonstrate what we have achieved in foreign policy over the course of the year.
How did you conduct it?
Basically, we know experts who are dealing with foreign policy and international relations in Ukraine. We have an online survey questionnaire, and we sent to all the expert pool members just to fill it in, and then just to see the summing up of this information.
And how many experts did participate?
This year we have 106. This is quite enough.
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the achievements of Ukraine this year?
Well, I will not surprise you maybe, because the first place is for visa-free regime with European Union. And basically, yes, this is a great achievement, and this achievement not only of this year, but basically over the course of years, of 3-5 years, we are dealing with this issue, with liberalization process.
It just counts for this year.
Yeah, right. The second one is the full application of association agreement with European Union. Basically, it happened this year, unfortunately only this year, but it's really a step ahead, as we see in our expert community. And the third one is that we still manage with international community to preserve sanctions against Russia. Basically, this is maybe the main instrument we have at the moment with our partners from West, just to pressure Russia somehow, maybe to soften its position on the situation with aggression.
So where did Ukraine fall short in its goals then?
Many sides will fall short, but actually what are the failures, as we can put it? I think the first one is the worsening of our relations with Western neighboring countries.
You mean because of the educational law?
Partly, yes. Partly because of educational law, and partly because of the history and policy of historical memory.
So you mean Hungary and Poland?
Yeah. So this is a real issue at the moment, because actually, this is the very complex issue, because it was created not only by foreign ministry. Foreign ministry was only like a fire team just to make it easier, but it was produced by Parliament, and I think it was a real failure because we didn't communicate quite enough with our neighbors, with our colleagues, how to deal with it. Although the substance of this article is quite enough to understand that it is needed in Ukraine much more.
So it was produced by the Ukrainian parliament, you mean?
Correct. Correct.
So, but what is on the opposite side? Who is leading the list of the most friendly countries to Ukraine?
We asked this question in our questionnaire, and we found out that we have 5 most friendly countries we have around us or on the globe.
The biggest allies.
The biggest allies, yeah, you put it quite right. I think the first one, and it's not a surprise, Lithuania. The second one is Canada, then United States, then we have Great Britain, and surprisingly Japan. So basically, our experts see these countries as a more pro-Ukrainian when it comes to relations and to dealing commonly on different international forums like UN, like OSCE, and other forums where we're trying to gain support for our fighting with Russian aggression.
And how do you think, what kind of support and aid could we expect in 2018 from these countries?
We have several layers. The most important is in the domain of security. With dominant part of these countries, we have bilateral agreements on cooperation in security and defense. So basically what we could expect, already we have at the moment, for example, this lethal weapon. It's no surprise that we are trying to negotiate it with United States, with Canada. We have some good news about this. But at the same time, we have already lethal weapon transferred from Lithuania. It's about Kalashnikov and bullets to this gun machine.
Yeah, weapons worth, if I'm not mistaken, 2 million euros or something like that.
Yeah, but still, it's quite needed for Ukraine.
But then, expecting some aid from the international community, Ukraine should also focus on some specific tasks in its foreign policy. And what are the priorities for 2018 according to your survey?
I could put it either as a part of a problem and a part of solution.
So it's it's a challenging mission.
It's a challenge, and I explain why. The challenge because at the moment in Ukraine we do not have the concept of foreign policy. Basically, the dominant documents which regulate this sphere, it is the law of Ukraine on basics of foreign and domestic policy, which is quite vague and quite simplified, I would say. The second one is national security strategy, and military doctrine of Ukraine. So basically, there is a triad of documents. The third one should be the concept of foreign policy. Unfortunately, we do not have. So basically, we orient as priorities to those directions which were indicated by President Poroshenko on ambassadorial meeting 2 years ago. So basically, there are 4 of them which are more dominant in our foreign policy. The first one is gaining support for our fighting with Russian aggression. The second one is European integration and Euro-Atlantic integration, then trying to advance our export and business abroad, and protecting our citizens
around the world.
Around the world. So basically, if to add some more ideas, we also can take advantage of public diplomacy, which is a new instrument, a new tool in toolkit of foreign ministry, and basically to talk.
Is this about the new diplomatic law?
Yes and not. Partly it is included as part of new diplomatic law, but actually the bigger part of this law is devoted to the regulation of diplomatic service, because the previous one was quite outdated and it didn't allow to regulate sufficiently and efficiently the relations between the center and between embassies when it comes to some vital and new directions of our activity. And basically, I think public diplomacy is quite good, and there is a special department which was created 2 years ago, and basically at the moment they are trying to create or develop a new strategy for public diplomacy, just to explain to the world what we want to just to make through with this instrument.
And also Ukrainian Prism, as far as I know, presented an online database of international experts which can give a high quality analysis. Could you tell us more about it and maybe tell us where to find this database?
Database could be easily found. I would say it is on the website which is called in Ukrainian Portal Zовнішньої політики.
Again, please.
Portal Zовнішньої політики, Foreign Policy Portal. And we have there a database around 50 experts which are dealing with some specific issues, be it Latin America, be it Asia, be it Middle East. And we specifically indicate the achievements of this expert in this domain, and basically have to make connections on a specific issue you're interested in. So basically you are welcome to use this website. It was specifically crafted to deal and maybe to connect journalists, media and experts who are dealing with this issue, because it is quite commonplace in Ukraine that you have experts which have expertise in everything. From warheads till some situation in brakes. So basically we want to indicate that there are some experts which are doing with some spots but doing quite professionally and efficiently.
And was this survey the first one about the results of Ukrainian economy and some prospects that you conducted, or are there more conducted in the past?
Thank you for this question. It is the second one.
It is the second one. Yeah. How would you compare the results of Ukraine with the previous year?
We can compare with some scores. We ask our experts to put, and in terms of scores, the mark is the same, satisfactory. But actually, what was surprising, no expert put the excellent mark this year. And I think it is still on the same level when it comes to a holistic picture of foreign policy performance. Because, you know, except for European Union, which is, yes, it is priority for us, there are other regions we should deal with, for example, Africa, for example, Middle East, for example, Latin America, advancing our business and our export potentials there. So basically, I think there are some regions or some spots where we still have some ample room for improvement.
Mm-hmm. Well, unfortunately, that's all we have time for, and thank you so much for this conversation.
My pleasure.
Thanks for this survey. That was Hennadiy Maksak, chairman of the Foreign Policy Council Ukrainian Prism. Thank you for watching Head to Head. I'm Oles Garjuk. Goodbye.